I have a question for you. Why did the gardener bury her money in the soil? She buried her money in the soil to make it rich. Okay, I know that's not the funniest joke you've ever heard, but that punchline rings with a bit of truth. To a gardener, soil that is dark brown, almost black in color, is considered rich with vitamins and minerals that nourish the fruits and vegetables that we eat. So in essence, that rich soil nourishes us. And just as soil that is rich can nourish us, gardening can also nourish us. It offers the perfect opportunity for us to restore ourselves through the beauty of nature as we rediscover the healing power of playing in the dirt. What if I told you that placing your hands in the soil for as little as 5 minutes triggers your body to release happy chemicals? We didn't even know that we knew this when we were making those mud pies as children. People who garden have been found to have lower levels of anxiety and depression. That's because when we garden, the level of cortisol in our body is decreased. And this shifts our neurophysiology from fight or flight to rest and relax. It can also teach us powerful lessons about life and is a valuable healing tool that can help us maintain our health as we experience trying times, such as during a pandemic. I have dozens of houseplants and a small outdoor vegetable garden. And whether I'm spending time inside with my plants or outside in my garden, gardening can teach us 3 important lessons about the cycle of life and death and provide a pathway to wellness for us. My garden has caused me to recede and to take time to realign myself. Playing in the dirt has allowed me to realign myself with nature and to reacquaint myself with its brilliant reemergence and powerful rebirth. My first foray into gardening was a bunch of tomato plants during the summer when it didn't rain much. I soon discovered that if I was going to be able to taste even one tomato, my tomato garden needed way more rain than the occasional summer rain shower would provide. So, every evening, for about a month, I commenced watering my garden, and eventually, I had these tiny yellow flowers. The flowers bloomed, the bees came to pollinate, and oh my gosh, I was so excited when I woke up one morning and there was these like little green nubs all over my well-watered tomato plants. Those green tomatoes grew into the most delicious and the most beautiful red cherry tomatoes you have ever tasted. When I popped one in my mouth, it was like a burst of sugar. And I had grown dozens of these beautiful and delicious cherry tomatoes. And then, as summer turned to fall and the temperatures cooled, the flowers, they stopped growing. The bees, they disappeared. And guess what? So did my tomatoes. And after the first frost, every last one of my tomato plants died. I was dismayed. But I also understood that the death of those tomatoes was not the death of all tomatoes. Only the tomatoes from those plants in that season. You see, gardening forces us to recede and to take time to realign ourselves. And this can help us to understand and accept the process of life and death in a rudimentary yet therapeutic manner. During our lives, we may experience a season of loss. I began playing in the dirt shortly after my youngest sister, Monica Dolores Crichlow, suddenly died. And my new playground helped me to heal after her death. as I cared for my plants, I was better able to understand and to consciously see the cycle of life and death through my plants. When I am in my garden, I am filled with a sense of peace. And I have such joy as I reap the benefits of spending time in nature and observing the landscape of life through a different lens. Gardening also shows us the benefits of being patient. Patience is necessary for a successful harvest. If you have ever grown lettuce from seed, you know that it takes months for the seed to go through the various stages, from a seedling to a plant that has enough leaves that an insect has not munched on before you for a salad for one person. Gardening also helps us to understand the importance of rest. One year, some of the kale I planted became a source of food for a small army of cabbage worms. It happens. And when this happened, I trimmed the affected leaves, I treated my kale plants with an organic pesticide, and I waited patiently while my plants rested and recovered. And while I was waiting patiently, my plants rejuvenated and eventually began growing again. Plants remind us that just as they need patience and rest to recover from an adverse event, we also can be patient with ourselves and give ourselves time to rest during our healing process. This allows us to grow stronger. Finally, gardening encourages us to appreciate each season and to appreciate the power in rebirth. For instance, think of a rose bush. The roses are the most beautiful part of the bush, but flowering takes an enormous amount of energy. And the blooms, they only last 10 to 14 days. But when those roses are in bloom, you can smell them before you see them. And their scent only enhances their beautiful colors. The gentle yellows, the rich reds, the vibrant oranges, the bright fuchsias, and the soft pinks. And when the roses die, the entire bush doesn't die. It goes into a dormant state where it produces and stores energy so that we can enjoy another round of its beautiful blossoms. Blooms that readorn the landscape of our communities. When a tree is dying, it releases its nutrients into the soil so that other plants and trees nearby can benefit. Plants are the perfect reminder that even when the end is near, they have an extensive root system that can strengthen and rejuvenate other things growing nearby, just as the communities in which we live and work serve as our root system to strengthen and rejuvenate us. As I reflect on the lessons I've learned through gardening, I realize I have produced beautiful blossoms throughout my life that I cherish, such as my daughter and my son. My experiences traveling and exploring the world and cultivating strong and healthy relationships with my family and my friends. I also realize that when a plant dies, it is not the end of my garden. Growth does not stop at death. You see, our lives are like gardens. We are constantly re-emerging and blossoming into stronger and more vibrant versions of ourselves. Due to the pandemic, many of us may have experienced devastating loss, not only of loved ones, but also of life as we knew it. As you are navigating your way through your loss, gardening is a tool that can allow you to release the layers of pain you may feel. The scholar Baba Fukiao encourages us to examine ways in which we heal ourselves and our communities. His words remind us that sowing is healing, reaping is healing. Whoever alone or together sows or reaps heals. The seeds that I have shared with you may allow you to realign yourself with nature, to heal through the loss of a loved one, or to continue to grow stronger. I encourage you to let the healing power of nature strengthen and rejuvenate you as you play in the dirt. Thank you for listening.